Hi, I'm Michelle, and this is Plans to Spare. I've always loved planning my days and my dreams, and the online planner community has become one of my favorite places to be. My channel is for planners and dreamers. I'll share what's working for me and encourage you to find what works for you. Come on, this will be fun.
Hey friends, can you believe it is the end of September? It's the end of the third quarter of 2020, which means it's time to do a monthly reflections and a quarterly compass. So when it's time for me to do a monthly reflections page, the best thing that I've found over the months of using Mäksēlife is to go back and look at my weekly notes and reflections pages. I've used those in a variety of different ways over the 9 months I've been in this planner, but the thing that I finally have settled into is writing down at the end of each week similar things that I know I'm going to want to look at and draw from at the end of the month. So I tend to note my wins for the week, what's working and what's not working, adjustments that I want to try going forward based on those two things, and then sometimes I'll note a habit I want to nurture or something that I want to focus on. And so at the end of the month, I look back at those 4 weeks. Not that I'm necessarily going to copy down word for word the same thing that I already wrote on the last 4 weeks, right? That would be a little useless. But what I'm looking for when I get to my monthly page is patterns and themes. Now, the wins, I do tend to copy those. You know, I pick 2 or 3 that have felt the most impactful. Those may be copied from one to the next, but when I'm thinking about what's working and what's not working, I want to look a little bit more globally. So if 3 out of the 4 weeks I'm saying that the exact same thing is not working, or 3 of the 4 weeks it's a certain aspect of one area of life, that's a really good flag on the play to let me know that I need to pull back a little further and figure out what's going on there. So that's been really helpful. This month, I was really impacted by the self-care September that we did, and so that shows up in several spots with wins and what's working. So with my reflections done, it's time to take a look at my quarterly compass. And so as I get ready to do that, one of the things that I do is flip back and look at those weekly actions and look through where am I consistently kind of hitting my mark and where am I not. And then after I score those, I go back to last quarter, and there's a place to copy down your current score and previous scores. Now, some people go all the way back to the beginning of the year. They kind of ask themselves those questions again. It's actually in the Mäksēlife website's freebie library. Go and sign up for that if you haven't already. Even if you're not in a Mäksēlife planner yet this year, you can do that kind of as a sneak peek even before launch. Some people go back and ask themselves the questions. They refer back to their scores from the beginning of the year. I've been liking doing it from quarter to quarter, especially since this spring and summer my scores really took a nosedive. I think almost all of us really were shaken up with all of the coronavirus shutdowns and things. So I don't want to necessarily compare back to January, because let's face it, the world we're living in feels completely different than January. But going from quarter to quarter, even though I was down a bit in the spring and down in the summer, right now things are coming back up. And the thing I'm most excited about is how much closer these areas are to balance. In some of my previous quarters, they were really, really skewed, and I felt it. I could feel that in my soul. And so right now, they're much more balanced. And I just filled them in this time with a gray mild liner, and I ended up going over it a couple of times. It wasn't as dark as I wanted. I'm gonna speed through that and spare you watching all the coloring in. But I love this exercise. And as I look back on the monthly reflections, if you just look at the circles at the bottom of the month, that's a scale from 1 to 10 of sort of our overall satisfaction with the month. And even in the hard months, when I stopped to think about how I actually felt, it was pretty good. I've added in a few things from the Mäksēlife wellness community. It's been good. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see what this next quarter brings us.